It happens every year. The Super Bowl, the World Cup, March Madness. The world collectively loses its mind over a ball moving across a field, and you feel absolutely nothing. If you've ever sat in a sports bar and wondered if you were missing the fun gene, or felt like a social alien because you couldn't care less who wins the pennant, I have good news for you. You aren't boring, you aren't broken, and you aren't antisocial. Science suggests that your indifference to sports isn't a lack of passion. It's actually a sign that your brain processes reward, identity, and achievement in a fundamentally different and evolutionarily necessary way. Today, we're looking at the psychology of the non-fan. To understand why you don't care, we first have to understand why they do. When a die-hard fan watches their team score, their brain floods with dopamine, the same neurotransmitter involved in falling in love or gambling. Psychologists call this the uncertainty reward. The brain loves unpredictable outcomes. For a sports fan, the uncertainty of the game triggers a massive chemical hook. But for you, that circuit doesn't fire for passive observation. Research indicates that non-fans often have a higher threshold for what psychologists call vicarious reward sensitivity. Simply put, your brain struggles to release happy chemicals for things you didn't do yourself. You don't get a high from watching success, you only get it from creating success. This makes you less likely to be a spectator, but statistically more likely to engage in high-agency hobbies like coding, woodworking, or playing an instrument. Evolutionarily, sports are a safe simulation of tribal warfare. It allows us to satisfy the primate urge for us versus them without actually dying. It triggers a massive release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which makes fans feel safe and connected to their tribe. If you dislike sports, you might be genetically predisposed to individualistic cognition. In early human history, you needed the tribal warriors, but you also needed the lone scouts, the people who weren't caught up in the group hysteria, who could stay detached and observe reality objectively. Your inability to lose yourself in the crowd isn't a social defect, it's a survival mechanism. While the tribe is distracted by the ritual, your brain is wired to remain autonomous and critical. You are the designated driver of the human species. There is a concept in psychology called birging, basking in reflected glory. This is when a fan says, "We won," after a game they didn't play in. It allows them to outsource their self-esteem to a third party. Conversely, when the team loses, they engage in corfing, cutting off reflected failure, where they say they played terrible. People who don't care about sports tend to have what psychologists call an internal locus of control. You generally derive your self-worth from your own actions, relationships, and distinct capabilities. Because your self-esteem isn't tied to the performance of a sports team, your mood is generally more stable. You don't suffer the Monday morning hangover of a bad loss. So the next time the big game comes around and you feel that familiar pang of awkwardness because you don't know who the quarterback is, remember this: you aren't missing the point. You just have a different psychological profile, one that prioritizes direct action over passive observation and individual identity over tribal conformity. It's okay to not care who wins the game. It just means you're too busy playing your own.